Hey, I'm Savannah. Welcome back to Designing Forsaken Legacy, a character design series for an animated show I'm making here on YouTube.
In this video, we'll be looking at General Honey, one of the Forsaken Generals. Despite how sweet her name is, she's probably not someone you would want to actually meet in real life. I chose her name after deciding that I wanted her to be a farmer, because farmers tend to keep bees, and bees produce honey. Also, she has a bee motif, so it fits as well. I really like the idea that this bad guy has just a very sweet name and sounds decently harmless. Her personality is perceptive, boastful, and dramatic. She's the kind of person who could simply walk through a door, but instead she'd kick it open and announce her arrival. She's a Maine Coon, and the reason why I chose that specific breed is because they're actually one of the best barn cat type cats, that, at least according to my research. They have thick coats that can handle cold winters and strong hunting instincts, so seemed like a good fit for a farmer. This first speed paint is a bunch of sketches I did of her, including one of her before she was banished. And I only ended up coloring the one of her before she was banished because I wanted a reference for how she looked pre-banishment. And I also discovered this really sketchy sort of brush in Ibis paint that kind of reminds me of classic Disney movies. As for the extra eyes when they're visible, I ended up giving her 3 extra eyes because bees actually have 5 eyes, at least according to Google. I'm not an expert in bees though, so if that's wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. For the pre-banishment colors, I actually color picked from a picture of a calico I found on Google, and I really like how she turned out. This is definitely the day she found out, yeah, I'm getting banished for something I did not do. At one point, one of her eyebrows turns white. That was just me testing how that looked. And now we're on to the actual character sheet. So, Honey, as you can see in the initial sketch that I did, has something hanging from her belt. This is a broken honey pot. I looked up reference images on Google and Pinterest for how honey pots look. She carries it around. It probably used to belong to like a family member or something. But her forsaken instinct is she will guard that thing with her life. I ended up doing it so one sketch shows her normal appearance and the other shows her more monstery appearance. The stinger at the tip of her tail is not poisonous. It's literally just something to stab things with. And the reason why I decided that she usually hides her more monstery features is, to be honest, I just don't want to have to constantly draw so many arms. That sounds like torture. 4 arms sounds useful until you're the artist who has to animate them. Anyways, so for her sound design, I wanted it to sound like even when she's moving around and stuff, there is constantly insects chirping around her. Because one of her abilities is that she can control insects. She also has a really hypnotic voice, and still is able to enchant objects. I wanted her to sound like the sweet little farm lady trope, but she definitely can and will fight if needed. As one of Feng's 3 generals, Honey also commands her own legion, which mainly consists of feral Forsaken, one of which is Lady Chine, who I've covered in a previous episode. I actually had the speed paint downloaded before I remembered I forgot to give her her markings, so I went in and did that, and re-downloaded the speed paint. I did have troubles deciding on the particular shade her markings would be, but I am happy with the shade I ended up with. I still may change it in the future, I haven't decided. And with that, let's take a look at the final results. If you liked this episode, feel free to like, comment, hype, subscribe. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.